Turkish Airlines presents Business Africa.
Hello and thank you for joining us on Business Africa. I'm Ndea Yoka and here's what's coming up this week. In Burundi, President Evariste Ndayishimiye is focusing on equitable partnerships with a roundtable aimed at transitioning from agriculture to industry. A new era for Burkina Faso. Thanks to crowdfunding, the country is banking on local industrialization with its first tomato paste factory. And in Abuja, the Made in Africa shoe exhibition puts African leather in the spotlight with the aim of moving from raw materials to industrial production. In a Burundi that's undergoing a major transformation, its Vision 2040 is built around 5 key pillars with the aim of attracting investors for sustainable development.
Burundi organized the roundtable to attract investors and mobilize financing. On this occasion, President Evariste Ndayishimiye called for a balanced partnership beneficial to all parties and conducive to sustainable development. It is with great pleasure and immense satisfaction that we present to you our ambition defined through the Burundi Vision, emerging country in 2040 and developed country in 2060, so that you can contribute to its implementation. Based on 5 pillars, namely state commitment, economic efficiency, social equity, environmental protection and cultural preservation, this 2040 vision aims to create an industrial economy. The objective is to be able to move from this agricultural subsistence economy to an industrial economy where it creates decent jobs. The budget for 2023-2027 stands at 28.8 billion, with 6 billion already confirmed. However, the economic situation continues to be concerning, as noted by these economists. Today, economic growth is estimated at 2%. If inflation is estimated over 30%, it goes without saying that every year a Burundian loses purchasing power. Overcoming these challenges requires strengthening partnerships and combating systemic corruption for sustainably exploiting key sectors.
Burundi is looking to the future, but challenges such as endemic corruption are slowing its progress. Gabriel Rufiri, president of Olicom, is our guest this week. Welcome to Business Africa. Can private investment like those sought at the recent roundtable provide an immediate solution to the economic crisis?
Immediate, no, but in the long term, yes. One thing must be understood in this bond issuance. There is first the private side, but also bilateral and multilateral partners. Burundi had already organized 2 bonds. One was held in 2007 with the promises of about $1.4 billion. In 2012, we had promises of around $2.8 billion. We hope for a growth rate of about 8%. But by 2014, Burundi had a growth rate of 4.7%. Unfortunately, with the 2015 crisis, it dropped into negative. Now, Burundi has received bonds of about $4 billion US. You can see that there is an increase in these pledges. Now we are asking politicians to think about the future of Burundi by promoting good governance in all its aspects.
In 2023, Burundi was listed amongst the 10 most corrupt countries in Africa. Your NGO is fighting the scourge. To what extent does corruption impact the country's economy?
Corruption hinders all development efforts. We conducted a survey to see how Burundi is implementing the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. And we found that we are far from the desired objectives. A country that wants to move towards sustainable development must take concrete actions against corruption. There is political discourse from the Burundian authorities, and we now expect this discourse to be concretely accompanied by more actions.
The IMF highlights critical resource management in Burundi. What does Olicom suggest to optimize the use of international funding?
The government itself recently communicated that the Burundian Revenue Office, which collects public revenue, lost more than $30 million in just 4 months, which has now vanished. In response, the managers have been changed, including the Ministry of Finance. This is an eloquent sign showing there is a problem. So what we can recommend to the new minister is really to accelerate the program-based budgeting, the digitalization of public services, and to continue publishing quarterly budget execution reports and the law of settlement and budget report. Allow me to give one last recommendation, which is to ask the government to vote for an austerity budget focused on growth sectors. If we practice budgetary austerity and direct most of the budget to growth sectors, I am more than convinced that we will boost our economy.
Mr. Rufiri, thank you for your time.
You are welcome, and thank you for having me.
In Bobo-Dioulasso, Transitional President Ibrahim Traoré has inaugurated a tomato processing factory, an inclusive initiative that could redefine economic models in Burkina Faso.
In Burkina Faso, industrialization through crowdfunding has become a reality with the launch of the first commercially produced tomato paste cans. This marks a milestone for a country accustomed to relying on foreign funding for major projects. The factory located in Bobo-Dioulasso required over $12 million to build, symbolizing an assertion of economic sovereignty, according to Aziz Ninan.
Through this factory, we're shaping a new way of thinking about our development, a sovereign development based on constructive solidarity, where everyone directly benefits from the fruits of these efforts.
For Tahiru Berry, former Minister of Culture, this financing model represents a shift towards self-independent development.
This project can lead Burkina Faso towards economic takeoff because it involves every Burkinabe in national construction and wealth creation. Currently, over 75% of the nation's wealth is concentrated in the hands of less than 25% of the population. That's not acceptable.
Thanks to this funding model, Awa Sanon, president of the Bobo Fruit and Vegetable Cooperative, is optimistic about the tomato processing plant's impact on local activities. This tomato factory will reduce losses caused by the lack of market access for our tomatoes, benefiting both producers and traders. The factory will also create jobs for our children. The tomato processing plant in Bobo-Dioulasso, with a daily capacity of 100 tons, marks the first phase of an ambitious project. Future phases include a factory in Tenkodogo, 3 semi-mechanized mines, and a central procurement center to enhance the distribution of processed raw materials.
Has Africa truly exploited its full potential in the leather and footwear sector? In Abuja, the Made in Africa shoe exhibition reveals opportunities for transformation and growth.
The city of Abuja hosted the 2024 Made in Nigeria Shoe Expo, a platform for international firms to leverage lucrative value chains across the footwear and leather sectors. According to the expo, Africa's footwear and leather market is valued at over $15 billion.
Africa is falling short by over $58 billion on the basis of its potential. So Africa has to do a lot of work to catch up with the rest of the world.
Is this same leather from Nigeria, the hides and skins that were used to produce shoes that we're now importing into the country? Now, if we can encourage these young people now to tap into that industry and turn that hides and skin to products made in Nigeria, I think we can be able to garner into revenue.
The organizers say the expo is a chance to showcase Nigeria's top footwear designs and to expose shoemakers to opportunities in other parts of the world.
One of the critical things for the industry is going to be exports. We want to build an export-driven industry. The potential for the industry is in millions of dollars, but currently we are just trading around $5 billion, really, and it's core around leather, not footwear. So our idea is to make sure we integrate footwear into this huge revenue potential.
The global leather market size was valued at over $400 billion in 2023 and projected to rise above $700 billion by 2030.
And that's all from Business Africa. To watch this episode again, visit africanews.com and our digital platforms. See you soon.
Business Africa was presented by Turkish Airlines.